That's very specific.
Talk, I was just dying.
Oh yeah, you were, weren't you? Jeez, that was so long ago.
Yeah. It was really so long.
Bailey. You want to go check them? Just see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. We're going to get started here with the final round of judging. We're going to announce the teams now that made it to the final round here to present for our panel.
Please listen up. Come on.
Everybody, hello. Why?
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, everybody, one moment.
We good?
Yes, we're good. All right, everybody, sorry for the delay. We're ready to go now. This is the list of the finalists who are going to be coming up and presenting here, and they'll be coming up in this order. So to get started here, can we have Team Null come on up, and we'll help you get set up here to present.
Okay, the mic is on.
Introduce us, you're only gonna got it.
Okay.
Hold on.
Listen.
Just take a second. Everything's set. Chris, you might, or is Mitch doing the presentation?
He's got it.
I know the transition. Or should I switch?
Because we'll have to talk into this.
Yeah. All right. Hello, everybody. We developed a web app called Chalk Talk. I'm Chris. This is Mitch, Pranav, and Ben.
Hey, so we built a chat app kind of inspired by Kahoot and Piazza, and we were all online in the past year, and so we kind of took a hint from that and really tried to bring the elements of like the online learning that are really good and bring them to like a lecture hall. So we designed a chat app where you input your course code and then the name you want to appear as, and it basically just makes online group chat for you to communicate with your peers who are also in the same lecture.
So yeah, like Ben explained, Chalk Talk, it's a web app designed specifically for the classroom. We wanted an application where users can create individual rooms, and a room kind of represents like a lecture hall, kind of like this one. And basically, users can join these rooms and send anonymous messages, and the whole point is to get collaboration across the room. You know, usually in a big lecture hall like that one, you can't really talk to everyone, so this platform should help with that.
So why choose Chalk Talk? With the whole pandemic, it has left a lot of students feeling kind of disconnected from the classroom. So it's a way of bringing them all back together. It's also supposed to help them kind of feel more comfortable with others. You can stay anonymous, so you don't have to really know everyone's name and know who they are. It allows for collaboration. You can ask for real-time help. You can easily plan study groups, and it's easy to connect with other students in the classroom.
Yeah, and just to build off of the why Chalk Talk idea, we have these three main C's of collaboration, community, and communication. So these are the foundational principles that like will be built up in the lecture hall, and also maybe afterwards if it were to be used for like homework to virtually meet as well.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go over how we built it real quick. We basically built out a static website that's like the initial sign in, and then it redirects you to a React app that uses Firebase to manage the messages, and it updates in real time across any devices that are connected to any given room.
So a huge obstacle for us was to figure out Firebase. And in a nutshell, Firebase is a very dynamic database that basically users can send messages, and then the database is updated in real time, and all the users are pulling information from that database. So every screen reflects the same messages. And each room is basically a collection within the database. So when you create a new room, you create a new collection within the database. And yeah.
So we're gonna run a really quick demo if you guys are all interested.
You're all welcome to take out your phones and participate with us.
So we have the QR code on the screen, and I'll be following along online as well, so I'll give a couple seconds for everyone to pull that
You
up.
want to give a screen share too once everyone
Yeah.
has it up?
So once you guys pull it up, you'll have the front end of the website, and you'll be able to enter the course code, which we'll just have as cheese for the purposes here. And then you can enter a name of anything you'll want to appear as. So this is basically just like your username. It can be your name or anything else. I'll leave that on the screen. The code is cheese with a capital C for one last time, and then I'll pull it up here. So I'll just appear as Chris, if I can type. And then once you press enter, click the button. As you can see, there have been already a lot of messages going on. We do have a cap at 100, so if everyone spams the chat a lot, it'll stop eventually, just for like purposes of not costing money, because we had to build it out. But yeah, as you can see, you can message everyone in the chat, and I can type something not there. And it'll scroll down for me, and everyone's name will pop up as desired. So if we go back here,
Now we'll open the floor to any questions for anyone, if anyone has any.
all right. Well, thank you everyone for listening, and remember to
All right, can we have Team Monomer come up?
Hi everyone. So we're Team Monomer, and today we're going to present about our hackathon project. So my name is Mick. His name is Nad, his name is Muang, and his name is Rice. So we tried to come up with an idea about with like problems and like possible like hackathon projects ideas, but at first we couldn't really think of one, and so we tried to narrow down our target group to a specific group, which is people with disability. So what are some of the problems that people with vision impairment have? People with vision impairment have difficulty receiving information input through their visual perception, and so their main inputs would be by audio or by senses of touch, and these two are basically technologies that people with vision impairment can use, text-to-speech and speech-to-text. How about people with auditory impairment? People with auditory impairment have difficulty in receiving inputs through their ears, and so basically in audio format. And so their main ways of accessing like information are basically visual perception and sense of touch. And so these two are closed captioning and sign language are what they use to perceive the information. And so we thought about, what about people with both deaf and blindness? How do these people get access to the information, and especially the digital information? And so basically the answer is Braille.
Okay, so there might be someone that thinking of like, is there that many people that have both like deaf and blind? I would say is very significant number of people. So let's see the statistics. This is the people with disability in the U.S. population. Yes, as you can see, is people who have their blindness has allowed 700,000 to 1 million people that's not a small number. So we need to pay attention to this community, and we want to seek a way to give them a solution to let. Edge, the user gonna use their hand, their finger to scroll through the screen. When it reach the black circle, the phone gonna vibrate, and it keep vibrating if you still touching the black circle, and it's gonna stop vibrate if it's white circle, and so on. And when the user gonna want to go to the next character, the user can double tap to go to the next one. Okay, so let me, you guys can feel free to try our demo. There's disclaimer, our app still work on Android phone only, so we still working on to optimize to iOS in the future. So anyone want to try with Android phone, I can lend you. wish to provide our users the sixth sense to make up for the senses that they have lost. With our sixth sense points of build, the user will gain the access to the world once again. That's what we believe. Thank you. So, anyone have a question? You can ask, and we. Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know if you guys kind of implemented it yet, but when you use it and you want to input a different word, there's no way to go back. And then on top of that, that's basically just it. Like I had to exit out and then go back in, and then even I don't know if you have that on the timer.
So we're just basically building like the basic structure of it first, and we didn't have like enough time to build like this other features, but it can definitely be added in the future. Yeah.
Do most visually impaired people have phones? Like, is that something that like is common? I mean, are there accessibility features in Android that demographics feel right?
Well, I'm not exactly sure about that, but I mean, this web application can be used like between people with visual impairment and deaf, and also use that between their assistants, so that they can either like communicate or like maybe in the future we can add like a feature where we put in like a URL link where that would then scrape an article from the internet, and then basically people with deaf and blindness can read things that are like online. Yeah.
So thank you everyone for listening to us.
All right, can we have team DN come up next?
Hello. We are Team DN, and we made a web app called Local. I'm Win. I'm Xander.
My name is Isaac. So before we start our presentation, let me ask you guys a question. So for students, before, let's say you have a class later at 7, right? Or a class at 8, and now it's only like, what, 3? Most of you guys will probably go back home, watch YouTube, maybe watch Squid Game, or even like scroll on TikTok, and you probably not do anything for a few hours. And for, I guess, our judges, let's say if you have a very important task, or like, if you have a like normal task, and you really don't want to do it, you don't want to put an effort to do it, and you want someone else to do it for you, but you don't want a professional because it costs too much money. And this is where Local comes in. We provide a community service to people. We basically adopted a model called crowdsourcing, which is used by Uber, Airbnb, and DoorDash. And we want to use the community, people in the community, to solve problems in the community.
So our idea with the app was to foster tight-knit communities by sourcing local workers rather than outside labor. And our web app Local allows users to create temporary job listings, which employs local workers. So the tech stack that we used was, for the back end, we used Firebase. Front end, we used React.js. And then we used 2 of Google's APIs. The first being the Google Maps JavaScript API, and that was what allowed us to create a customizable map. The second was Google's geocoding API, which allowed us to input an address and retrieve as an output latitude and longitude, which we used in the app. So going to the app, we have a setup process or a login process where you can, if you don't have an account, you can sign up for one. Otherwise, you can just log in. We already have an account, so let's just sign in. Okay, so this is the main page. And then down here is the map. So as you can see, there are a bunch of jobs in Madison. So this one, for example, is someone needs their car to be washed, but they just don't have the time. This one's walking someone's dog. This one's judging a hackathon.
So yeah, so let's say once you explore the job and you want to say, okay, you kind of want to mow some lawn, okay, and you accept the job, and then it says successful, the job has been added to your dashboard, and you can go to your dashboard and you can see your current task is to mow the lawn. And we actually have quite a display up there. It shows you how much money have you made for the past 7 days, how much money have you made total, and how much money you have made in the past 30 days. They kind of keep track of your finance and also kind of teach you a little bit about like how much money you have made in the past time. And also once you complete a task, it will go to the past task.
And so as a user, you're able to pick up jobs and also create them. So I will go through an example right now. Say I want a personal trainer. Let's use today's date. Pay, 100, employer, me, description, I need someone, me, lose weight. So let's use the NIC as an address. So we can type in like the partial address. West Dayton. And then when you click set current location, you're given like the proper address, and this is basically just a check to make sure that that's the address that you want. So that's the address that we want. Yeah, it's reset. And then this could be seasonal for so. And then you can define the start and end time and click create. There we go. Success, job has been created. And then now if we go back to the map and we look it up, there's a NIC. Oh, I did? Okay, let's go to Ohio then.
Yeah, because we've been trying to test out our map a little bit, so we've been testing out Africa and
Okay, there it is. I typed in the wrong address apparently. But yeah, I mean, this is basically Google Maps. So if you want to view location, you can just from our app. So, oh yeah. And we also have a profile page.
Yeah, so when you create an account, you can make your own profile. So this would be your profile picture, your name, where you're located, and your description. And then you have these jobs near you that are sorted by distance. And then jobs you may like be based upon your previous work history, and also distance too. Right now there's not that many because we didn't add enough, I guess, but yeah.
So that was the app, and our mission is basically to connect the world, one community at a time. We'll open the floor to questions now. Yep. Oh.
No, you can go. Okay, I was gonna ask, does the app do payment processing in app, or is it basically kind of like a Craigslist thing where money, like cash is exchanged?
So yes, we actually thought about that, and because of the time constraint, we only implemented some of the very basic functions. In the future, if we have more time, we'll definitely do something like messaging, and through messaging, you'll be able to accept payments and not accept payments. Like, if you want someone to work on your job, you can accept their job request. And the reason why we very strongly encourage like doing it within the app, because we want users to stay in the app. We want traffic to be in the app and not they can communicate with like outside the app and like do business outside. That's why.
Why would I use this instead of Craigslist?
Well, the idea is it's supposed to be within your local community and get like faces like maybe within the city. So you're not paying someone that is maybe like a professional outside labor, not professional, like part of a corporate or some larger company. So the idea is you're paying people that are maybe like kids or people just in the neighborhood who need some extra money.
Right. To elaborate a little bit more on that, Craigslist right now there's a lot of freelance, so you're basically still paying for like semi-professional like employees. I would say they have a specific set of skills to work on a specific project or task you have. But for us, for local, we actually want to focus on like very short temporary jobs. For example, let's say if you want to move something right now, you want to move like a piano, and you just want an extra set of hands, and you don't want to schedule it far ahead. You want it today at 5 p.m. This is where you post your job listing, and if people are actually free at 5 to help you out, then they'll accept the job listing and help you to move your piano.
Also, from a UI point of view, I think our app is a bit more user-friendly than Craigslist, and the map feature is a nice addition because you can see all the postings on the map. So.
Are you filtering on this criteria?
What?
On Craigslist, anyone could go and respond to an ad. So, is there a filtering aspect to ensure that it's?
Yes, as we talk to the first round as well, because we don't have enough time, so most of these stuff don't have filters, so we don't have assigned employees or employers. But then, if we have more time, that would be one of the major features we would actually talk about implementing.
By filters, do you mean security or like safety?
Well, if you're claiming that it's random dude down the street or whatever, as opposed to actual electrician down the street, or I don't know, whatever, or actual mover down the street, how are you filtering for that, or what would be the plan to filter?
Oh, okay. I mean, that'd be stuff that we'd add to the profile. I mean, we don't really have a way to verify that, but a person could list their skill set on their profile.
So if I'm looking for a gig this evening for maybe like lawn mowing, is there a way to look up just lawn mowing jobs, or would I have to click on everything?
As of right now, we don't have like a filter that filtered yet because we're only given a certain amount of time to implement this. But yeah, in the future, if we had more time, we'd have that. And also, going back to your question, another thing that we'd add to the profile would be like a reviews section, I guess, of people who like employed this one person, and they can give feedback on like their job performance, so that would boost someone's credentials, I guess. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, can we have team not found come up next, please?
not found. And for our project, we created a CS appointment schedule. So the inspiration for this comes from the process for accessing CS help from TAs and teachers. It's, as it is right now, we believe that it was pretty confusing. Like you had to go fill out a Google form, and then the teachers would email you with a Google Sheets, and that Google Sheets was like a queue, and you would be like a certain number on the queue, and it would get updated, and then you get emailed again with a link. And we thought this could be streamlined using a single app. So we aim to solve this specific problem. So introducing the CS Help Scheduler. So in this website, right, students simply select their class, their teacher, and their TA or peer mentor. And then they are sent an email about the Zoom link and the time, and when they have to join it. So here's an example of an email being sent to the app. To build this app, we used React.js, Node.js. We used an API called email.js to email notifications to students. HTML, CSS. Yeah. So we ran into a couple of problems when implementing it. We attempted to implement Firebase, but Firebase proved to be very difficult for us to implement. What we wanted to do is we wanted to add a login page to our app so that students would be able to come back in and view currently scheduled appointments and schedule more appointments in the future. However, we weren't able to get the login service available. We also would consider probably using like the university's login service, like the Whiskmail and that kind of stuff to log into this, but obviously we don't have access to that API because that's university owned. Right now, the times, names, and like dates are hard-coded into the app. We hope that we can get this information into a database to modify it later. Yeah. So basically, our plan for the future after this hackathon is essentially implementing these things, potentially hooking up to this ID login if we can contact the right people about that. We also want to have the choice between creating online and in-person meetings, having Zoom meetings be generated, having Zoom meeting links be generated in the API. Right now, it's just a single link that's sent. And add maybe a visual calendar system to make it easier to schedule meetings. So let's see how it works. So as you can see, we've got a few options for classes, right? You can select your class, go to CS300. You can select your professor, pick a TA, any TA. Choose a mentor. Then you can fill out your name. Let me try it with Chris's email.
So then when I click submit, I'll see eventually like that. So if you do it correctly, and that actually shows that it gives you a notification that you do it incorrect, to make sure that you don't get improper values passed in. But anyways, so once you click submit, you go over to your email. Oh, and there we go. So it's pretty quick. And now we have a message, hello, this is your meeting link. So this is our meeting link. And so you can click on that, or you can join using the meeting ID and password. But we'll go ahead and launch the meeting. Uh-oh, I'm here. So, and you can go ahead and join. And since it's a scheduled meeting time, you're able to join now, even though Yeah, so you're able to join, and then you can meet with your professor or TA or peer mentor and get help with your class. So, but for now, we're going to go ahead and leave. That's all right.
Any questions?
How do you know what time the meeting is scheduled for?
The email.
Email, right? Yeah.
So we wanted to add all the times for each professor into our database. Since you can implement the database, the times are not available right now. But once the database is implemented, the times will be retrieved from the database and added to it.
Yeah, so right now we're only in CS 300, so we don't have the TA times for all of the classes. But if we were able to have access to the times for the other classes, we would be able to match the time with the professor, peer mentor, or TA that they choose. And then from there, we could get that data and put that into the email.
More?
What happens if there's like a teacher or TA is already in the meeting and someone tries to join? Since it's like at this meeting time, you're automatically able to join, but if they're already conducting the meeting.
So ideally, the teachers would have host privileges for the meetings, and they would keep the students in the waiting room if they join at the wrong time.
Also, that would kind of be like real life if you went to see the teacher and there would be someone there asking a question. So another option would be waiting for the teacher to finish their time with the other student, and since the teachers are generally fairly experienced with dealing with students, they would probably be able to help you make sure that you're able to get enough time to.
You said that you didn't like the system where you had to queue up in a spreadsheet or something, but how does this get around that problem? Because won't you have the same issue where all the time slots are filled up, except now you don't know which ones are? I guess
Well,
I'm just listening in the future.
I mean, the whole point of mentioning that was that, in a sense, like having to switch between like a Google form and a different spreadsheet and like your email like over and over again, trying to make sure what's going on is tough. I think essentially what we have is like a similar system where you queue up for times and you have to schedule a time, but instead of being in like a bunch of different places, now it's all on one app. So it's easier for students to use.
It also makes it a bit easier for the teachers as well. So it kind of automates the process for both sides a little bit better.
Yep. All right, that's it.
All right, can we have Team Eris come up next?
our web app is called Eris, and it's a manager for volunteers and organizations. I'm Akshay, this is Jeffrey, Kit. So right now, our app has two modes. One is a COVID tracker and the other is an air pollution map. Basically, we got data per county in Wisconsin of COVID deaths and air pollution, and we graph that, and we're also combining that with volunteer events happening related to those issues. And this can be extended for several other issues, but we're just using COVID-19 and air pollution for now. And what this would look like is something like this, where the map on the left shows COVID cases per county, and darker county means more COVID cases, and then the blue map icons are volunteer events being held. And the right one is for air pollution. And as you can see, there are different events, like a walkout for air pollution would be listed on the air pollution map, and you would see like a vaccination session on the left-hand side.
So the potential impact of this is partially that it allows people to easily access public health data. Actually, finding information that's relevant to your area can be difficult at times, and in this way you can find multiple statistics with the map visualization, and potentially, if we add more, statistics that might be even harder to find than stuff like COVID, which is relatively easy. So it allows the public to make more informed decisions in that vein. On the organization side, you can use it for an updating map to see distribution of, say, COVID cases, to analyze which areas need the most attention, see what other organizations are doing, which allows organizations to communicate with each other, and see which areas are not being served at the moment, and to show events of interest to volunteers and gather volunteers easier. And for the volunteer side, you can easily see the case numbers, so you can make decisions about whether you actually want to go to a place, see what opportunities there are to volunteer in your area. So because it's a map, things show up closer to you, so you choose what's in your area that you can get to. And plan events that fit your schedule, you didn't see that in the map, but if you click on the map icons, it also shows time and date. So, scheduling.
And we'll see all that in our demo. So, you guys can also get on this URL. It'll just have a login, and you can log in with your Google account and just kind of mess around with things. So, on the front page, you're greeted with a login. And the web app, the entire point of the web app is to connect organizations and volunteers together in an easier way. So I'll connect, or I'll log in with my Google account here. And you're greeted with the COVID-19 deaths per 100, I believe, 100,000 based off the county. And right away on the right-hand side, you can see a legend for the amount. And you can see several events. You can also see a drop down here to select between air pollution and COVID-19. And you can see that these markers here are like different for the COVID-19 and air pollution because they're separate event groups for this. So for example, we'll just open up one of these here. So this is just an example one, hacker meetup, right? Just description is tailgating, and it's between October 24th and 30th. And there are currently 5 people in this event that are already joined. So you can join yourself, and you can see you're added and you've joined. And let's say you just want to leave right away afterwards, and you're able to, and you can see you can leave. Yeah, you can see that there's some that have already joined here for both the air pollution and COVID-19. And I'll just join this one, for example here. And when we switch over to the calendar tab, you can see we have an agenda of what kind of events we have so that volunteers are able to plan ahead in terms of what events they're planning to attend. So you can see like vaccination, test event, some other ones in here. and you can sort by month, week, day, or just the entire temperature. And finally, the Profile tab gives users and volunteers a greater degree of control for their events, so they can directly see their events and delete the ones they want to delete individually, which is pretty convenient. And you can also see there's some general information about these. And finally, so usually the organizations are only able to do this, but for our demo, everybody can just add an event. So I'll just start off by adding some, like a vaccination event here. So I'll just label it like vaccination. Sure, vaccination will be at 1979 Milky Way. And it's COVID-19, not air pollution. There's a zip code, and you can just choose a start and end. So after we submit, we can see we get a toast down here saying that we successfully created our event. And if we switch over to COVID-19 map, you can see there's a new event in this cluster of 3 here. And you can see vaccination, get your vaccination. And you can join my event. You can see I've joined my event. And now in the map, or sorry, in the calendar, you'll be able to see that there's a new section for vaccination. All this is kind of tied together to give a smooth experience for both the volunteers and organizations. Yeah, that's it. So continuing on, just explaining how things kind of function. So we're hosting both our front end and our back end on Heroku, which one is a React app and one is a Flask plus a MySQL database. And we're also doing our logins through Auth0.
Yeah, we're using React for the front end, and we have some libraries using like Calendar and Maps for our map and calendar visualizations, and that just contributes to making it a simple and fluid web app.
And then finally, as mentioned previously, we have a Flask API and MySQL database. And so part of the Flask API, or what's unique about it, is that we take in form data and we have to convert it into a longitude and a latitude and display it on our map. And our database, we also have to scrape some data for the COVID-19 data, as well as the air pollution stuff too. And I guess just before we answer any questions, I just wanted to add, one of the challenges we had about our app was about the map, because despite it not being like a very, I guess, complex map that just showed kind of the counties, it did involve like D3 and a lot of the lower level, I guess, JavaScript, if you could say JavaScript is lower levels. That demo took a bit of our time and was a big challenge. Sure. Any questions?
Out of curiosity, is there any attempt to tailor this other than events such as COVID-19 or pollution towards more any type of volunteering event?
Yeah, that's definitely possible. Like our current format is structured so we have like certain conditions or like stats to analyze, but I mean we could always also organize by popularity or like concentration of people, stuff like that, so you could get more people organized in a certain area. That's also possible. So.
So is it just relating like COVID-19 to events through like raw data? You're just supposed to like look at the map and analyze what you're trying to say to add an event there? Like, do you guys take in data like that into account then in any way? Or
I guess like the intended use case for organizations is if I'm an organization and I see this map, then like some things I'll see is that like there are a bunch of planning events in like the Madison region right now. So maybe I wouldn't want to set one up there. And maybe like this county up here has a lot of COVID deaths and cases. So maybe I want to set up something here so volunteers can help like hand out food or something. So that's the point of kind of the map, seeing the map and the events at the same time. So you can use the data to like, so like right now if I'm an organization I have to look up the data separately and then figure out when to plan my events, but this sort of simplifies it and just puts it in one screen pretty much.
Do you think it would be necessary if you scale this out to like implement it at like a more focused scale? Because let's be honest, somebody hosting an event isn't going to go across the state just to be in a little bit less COVID area. Whereas like maybe if you analyzed it more deeper, and I feel like organizations aren't going to migrate around. They know to get it out that way.
We could probably modify the map to be more detailed at some point. If we did a limited time, we could see that.
Yeah, and then even though this map does look static, there is opportunities to zoom in. We just have disabled that for now, just to focus on Wisconsin. But there are definitely ways to make this zoom out as well as zoom in to separate counties or to global scale. Yeah, to flex to other types of conditions.
So then when you're creating the event, specify the address, and then you back out based on that. How do you do that conversion from address to address?
Well, I guess I'll try. Our fourth member actually is, yeah, he did most of the back end work with the organization, but I think what he did was he looked at the, he mainly looked at the zip codes, and then from there he like further laid down the longitude and latitude based off of the location.
Just because COVID is changing so quickly, does this also change?
Currently it doesn't change, but there are definitely ways to make it, of course this is future implementation, but we can definitely make it so that we have something in the background just constantly be fetching data and displaying this data. And everything is dynamic on the screen, like nothing is really hard-coded in terms of the map, except for like the Wisconsin map, obviously. But the values inside the counties are not hard-coded, the legends are hard-coded, these are calculated with the data. So yeah, this can be updated.
So I'm assuming the data that you're using behind the COVID tests, it's just grabbing the data set online?
Yeah, I think we scraped it from the government website.
All right, and lastly, can we have New York Cheesecake please come up?
All right. Hello, everyone. We are New York Cheesecake, and so for the past 24 hours, we've been working on our project that we call With You. And so one thing that we had a problem with when we were brainstorming for ideas was that us students in Madison and mainly students in the US and all over the world, we have a lot of different platforms that we use for everything, and it's just very inconvenient for students. And so our objective was to create a conglomeration of the various productivity tools, networking, and informational platforms out there that we use. And so we really wanted to focus on the community, the UW-Madison students as a community, and also this will definitely help assist with returning to the classroom. And so in general, our main objective was to create a platform that is able to spread relevant information to everyone in the student community, and definitely create greater connectivity within the student body. And so why is this really important? Why do we need this application? And so we believe from like a community standpoint that the merger of information from these different platforms will definitely support greater student interaction and networking. And studies have also shown that in-person education paired with online conversational applications leads to greater academic success, and that is what we hope to achieve as well with our application. And so before we get into some of the details and logistics, I just want to talk about some of the key features of our application. We have the main dashboard, which is basically a news feed of discussions and submission posts from various students who have accounts. We have timetable, which is basically a place for students to upload their own course schedule to their profile and optionally share it with their contacts on our database. And then we have lecture, which is a collection of course surveys and professor ratings done by students. And then we also have friend, which is what we call our network medium between different friends and colleagues on our database. And here are just some more additional features that we also include in our application: career and job, club information, an alumni board, buy and sell market, hot issues, and then a GPA calculator as well. And so I'm going to hand it over to my teammate, and she will start to talk about more of the full stack logistics and some of the details of our application.
So first, in order to use our service, the user should create an account, and to store all of the users' accounts, we use a database called MySQL, and we use PHP as well. So for the sign up page, the user have to input their first name, last name, username, password, and they have to confirm the password. And one of the features we developed in the dashboard was their schedule. So if they want to use their feature, yes, if they want to use that feature, they have to input the URL, and this is optional. So if they do not want to use this feature, they can just leave this blank, this as a blank. And they have the security, like when they enter the password, when we store it to the database, we use the secret coding to make sure that their password is encrypted. And one of the another important feature that we developed was the post. So in our database, we have two tables, the one for the users and one for the posts. So when the users submit a post, that post goes to the post table in the database.
Okay, let's retest on the top. So this is basically the main dashboard of our webpage. So on top feature, they have a board, timetable, lecture, GPA calculator, and friend. Below it, as you see, it's a free bulletin board, alumni board, buy and sell, Hadish club, and career job. So it's like sort of a combination of like LinkedIn, Facebook, and Handshake, and so on. So one of our functions that we have is a GPA calculator. So you put the course title in like a gray credit, and then it will count to convert to the appropriate GPA format.
So the accomplishments we had was like we were able to create a community-centered web application, and we were able to provide a plethora of functionalities for users and develop majority of framework for back-end front-end. And what we're planning to do in the future is to integrate server-side with more applications such as GPA calculator and like all the discussion boards and forums, and to improve on the friend functionality and the UI for searching and messaging friends. And now we'll move on to the demo.
So to host our service, we use a platform called XAMPP. So we can run the database from using this software as well. So this is our main page, and if the user needs an account, we can create an account, and once the user created an account, they can sign in, and they can use the main function, the main dashboard, and when they go to the timetable, they can see their calendar, and when they go to the lecture, they can send a review for their lectures. And this is the feature for the GPA calculator. And if they want to submit a post, they can submit a post using the username. And once they submit it with their username, you can see in the database it correctly gets the post from the website. Yeah. And
So,
just
yeah, this is the basic demo that we have, and if you guys have any question, you're welcome to take it.
So is the data on the main page static, or is it just being drawn to the tables?
Yeah, so for now, we've developed the front end and the back end, and it's capable of doing that, but we ran out of time and we were not able to implement that functionality yet. But as you were able to see, the back end and the server does work. We just needed a little bit more time to be able to print them out in tables. So for now, this is not this is static. This is static. Yeah. Yeah.
So for the comments, how are you storing them in the database?
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
You said that there's like a chat board, right?
Yeah.
Like a message board. How are you storing them in the database?
So if we go back to the database here, we have the username, which she just created an account was Cheese. The title the title was post, and the context was submission. So this is essentially how all our posts are stored, and then we have another separate table for users and people who create accounts and logins.
yeah, so when we develop this feature to ensure that the username is valid, like if they enter like some invalid username, such as maybe just like that is not in the database, it doesn't like let me like post to database. So database like does not upload that.
So like if I were to enter, like is there an error check that would say if I were to enter like cheese on my computer, would I be able to post it to cheese?
Yeah, I think for now we did not cross-check like the the username that you're signed in as and the username that you have entered in. But that is definitely an improvement we'll have to make, yeah.
So now you're checking like if your username is in the database.
That's a good catch. Sorry, we'll go there and then there, yeah.
How do you feel that your platform kind of stands out in comparison to like Facebook? Because Facebook kind of has that like to everything approach. You can shop on there, you can spend no pennies, you can post comments. Like, what separates your platform?
So yeah, I can answer that. So the like when I create this website, when we tried to like bring up this idea, so we wanted to make a specific like website for like only for UW students. Like instead of target like the people in all over the world, we wanted to make it like a specific schools community. So that way like we feel more like bond together and we feel like together. So that's kind of like different between Facebook or like Instagram and the other kind of like a social.
That is exactly how Facebook started with like its like message board.
That's true, but like we like to keep this way.
And yeah, just like you said, there's obviously Facebook, but we also really, like as students, and when Daycune also proposed the idea, like we talked about how there's a UW-Madison Reddit, there's a buy and sell market for UW-Madison on Facebook, and then we use Piazza for Classroom, and then we use so many different platforms, and sometimes it's just kind of unnecessary. I feel like, you could carry around like a handheld camera, a planner, a notebook, all of those things, or you could just carry your cell phone. So I just feel like this is not really like, this is not an invention here, but what we're doing is we're kind of creating like a Swiss Army knife where we have all these capabilities and functionalities and we're providing them for UW students. And that was our goal when we set up our objective. We wanted to create a stronger community within UW-Madison students. And, oops, sorry, that is the solution we came up with. Yeah, you had a question, yeah.
Why do you need to put in your username for first? Aren't you already logged into the website?
That's more for, I guess, other people to see who posted.
Another feature that if we have time, we've tried to like develop a feature called My Post, so like the user can like keep track of like all the posts that they actually posted. So we kind of like wanted to survey by the usernames. So that was the feature that we wanted to implement, but we were run out of time, so we haven't implemented yet.
Not quite a question, but I just wanted to say I like the colors and the shapes of the new post section.
I think we don't want to do a lot of time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you again to everyone who presented. We're just going to give the judges a little bit of time to deliberate here, but can we get a round of applause for the judges for coming in on the weekend and making this possible? All right, so after a little bit of time, we'll have the closing ceremony soon.
All right, everyone, we're going to get started with our closing ceremony in just a second here.
Well, hello everyone. It has been a very exciting past 24 hours. I've now been awake for almost 32 hours. It's been a very fun hackathon, and I hope that anyone else who stayed up through the night with me also had a very fun night and is ready for a nap. So to get started with this, I just kind of wanted to take us through the last 24 hours of us here in this room, CS Fall for you. We had a little collection of some pictures that we took throughout the day. Kind of at the front, just when you checked in, when you first came into the room. Then when we had the Mad Dash for Cheese later that day around 4 o'clock. All the way through the Chipotle dinner and into the evening through our presentations. It's been a fun time. Many memes were posted on the Discord. Much hate of Firebase, I think, arose during this hackathon, which was very unexpected. There was also some memorable quotes that we heard around. First one, I did overhear someone say very early on that the website they had built was the ugliest website they'd ever seen. A lot of people were asking for help with Firebase, and no one knew how to help. And then after we fed the cheese, someone said maybe it wasn't a great idea to feed cheese to 100 people in an enclosed space. It was starting to smell a little interesting in here yesterday evening. Now going on to now, you made it. You worked all the way through a hackathon, you put together a project, and you were able to submit it, have it judged, and some of you are going to walk away winners today. And that's a huge accomplishment. Even better, a lot of you probably learned something that you didn't know before you came here today. You worked with maybe a language you've never used before, or packages you've never used before, and now you know how to use that in your future endeavors. You gained a valuable experience that you can carry with you, either through a resume or through any job applications you can speak about this. And you're also willing to go above and beyond what some of your peers might be able to do. And so you've kind of taken that additional step in your academic career. You also got to network with additional students as well. You got to meet all of our executive members here for GDSC and the Web Dev Club. We have some great professors here today, as well as just each and every one of you, as one day you'll all be alumni of this great university. Additionally, you can join the organizations again. Just a small plug for us. If you are interested in helping out in future events or anything, you can join our organizations. All right, so now we're going to move on to the winners. But before we announce that, we need to give a special thanks to our two major sponsors for the hackathon. First being Northwestern Mutual, who made a very generous contribution, as well as the CS department here at UW-Madison. Now, if our special judges could please come up to the podium to announce the winners.
I am a graduate student in ECE, and I graduated in the spring from CS. So nice seeing you here, and you all really did a great job. Those are excellent. Thank you. So I'm very glad to announce the third prize to Aries. Congratulations, and I really like your design. It's very great, and especially how you kind of like solve some of the technical challenges to really build up a real web page. One thing maybe to improve a little bit is to consider more about the applicability and usability in real world, in terms of like how many people would choose to use it. And that's it. Yeah, congratulations again.
Hi, I'm Mark Renaud. I'm a faculty associate here at UW in the CS department. I think a lot of you may have had me for 200 and some other courses along the way. So I guess I'll announce the second place winner, which is going to be local. It was an impressive presentation, impressive package that was put together, and particularly I enjoyed the viability of it. The idea of a revamped Craigslist, even though sort of the idea of public announcements have been around for a long time. Having a revamped Craigslist with the UI that was put together, I think has some real potential. Congratulations.
Hi everyone, I'm Dieter van Eltvik. I'm a faculty member here in the Computer Science Department. I teach algorithms. You may also know me from the ICPC, the programming competition, which I'm coaching our teams. Yeah, so I'm very happy to announce the winner, which is Monomer.
It's on there, we brought it.
We thought the project was very innovative. We also liked the focus on an outside community, trying to help them out. It was very well thought through, we felt, and the project itself, even some of the details like the name, 6 cents and 6 cents. Yeah, so congratulations.
Again, to all the winners, we will contact you about all the prizes and things after the competition. We'll be in touch with you. We got your emails. But again, another round of applause for our judge panel here today. All right, we'll continue. All right, so to continue on with what's next from here. So a note on t-shirts and prizes, like I said, we'll be contacting the winners. First place, I believe, is $150 each to each member. Second place is $100 to each member. Again, that's dollars. Third place is $50 to each member. And a note on t-shirts, we did get everybody's t-shirts. If you did present any project today, you will be getting a t-shirt courtesy of the CS department, so thanks again for that. And we will be in touch over email and over Discord. We've got everybody's emails. Everyone gave us their shirt size, so as soon as we got the t-shirts ordered, we'll let you know on pickup and how that'll all work out. So a quick note on the Google Solution Challenge from the lead over here.
Thank you, Bailey. So, hey everyone, I'm Swati, the president for the Google Developer Student Club here at UW-Madison. We all are really impressive with the project that you guys submitted and worked on in under 24 hours. It's really impressive. And another great opportunity for you to showcase this kind of projects, the same project or something different that can help the community, is the Google Solution Challenge. Imagine a similar competition, but a longer duration. Like you can submit the same project that you submitted today, but work on it for 3 months. It's just an extended hackathon. And it's really great that all of you worked on projects that help the community. So if you wanna work on more projects, follow GDSC or WebDev, any organization, attend more workshops and improve your skills, build your skills. If you need help in working on your projects, follow our club. We'll host more events that help you find your teammates or help you with Firebase. Like many of you had problems today with Firebase, so we're going to help you with that. We're going to connect you with mentors so that you can work on your projects. The theme will be released closer to January, so in the spring we'll have more events focused around the Google Solution Challenge. Even if you can make it to top 50, you will get Google mentorship on the project if you make it to the top 50. So that's a great opportunity. Stay tuned for more updates on the Google Solution Challenge, but just putting it out there that this is a great opportunity for you to work on similar projects. Thank you.
All right, so I think this section here is really moving on to the future. In CheeseHacks 2022, next year's event. We did want to try and do this again next year and hopefully make this a UW tradition going forward from a collaboration from several of the development-focused clubs here on campus, and we can only do it with your support. So if you want to help, get involved in that next year, I know a lot of you are freshmen or sophomore on campus. Our clubs are great opportunities to join, and we're always looking for new members. Some of our planned VIPs for next year, I originally had Mark up on here. He inspired me in CS200 with Sokoban, and I said I would never do Java again. And here I am with JavaScript. So some other people might or might not make an appearance. Our venue, hopefully, will be looking somewhat more like this. I love CS1240, though. And additionally, our food, we're hoping to always one-up ourselves. We have plenty of cheese this year, but a whole 8-course meal would be absolutely phenomenal. Overall, thank you so much for coming today. It's been great having you all. If you'd like to send a feedback for our event, we have the QR code up here on the screen. Otherwise, please make sure to clean up after yourselves. Take any garbage that you might have to the nearest person. We do additionally have some more food down at the front if you want to take something home with you.